And this is exactly why it's so hard to talk about systemic issues. I think this commentator's intentions were good. They were very kind and straightforward in their comments, and I'm honored that you researched that thoroughly into me and my work before providing this very thoughtful response. It's really common when you come forward and say, this system is not accessible, for people to look into how you interacted with the system and nitpick it. If you try to find an alternative explanation for every autistic, AuDHD, or just neurodivergent person who struggles with publishing, you will never be able to address any of the problems inside of publishing. I know this is a very strange conversation to have in the wake of the Audra Winter scandal, which is how this all got started. I personally do believe that Audra did several things wrong, made several mistakes, and she should take accountability for her actions. Some of her decisions border on unethical, in my opinion, and I wouldn't deny anything that commenter said. I did not approach the process of publishing without mistakes. But this is why we're always saying two things can be true. There's nuance to discussion here. Audra Winter can be an unethical businesswoman, and the system of publishing can be broken. I can be a film writer who flunked out of querying because my first chapter had too many typos in it or too many grammatical mistakes, and it can still be really hard to get support. Autistic people can still have difficulty joining writers groups and finding agents, and difficulty with marketing and book fairs. That's why I talked about the whole process and not just a piece of it that I had personally interacted with, because systemically, it relies a lot on personal interactions and relationships, as even the commenter mentioned. The overfocus on relationship, especially in lieu of observing the process that is written on paper, is very difficult for an autistic person to cope with. When people do succeed, their success is pointed to and said, see, the system isn't broken. Because the people who struggle with a system like publishing and don't make it through are never heard about. Or when they are, they've done something drastic like Audra Winter. And the fact that the system may have gotten better in recent years, I feel like it's on the decline again lately, at least here in the US, doesn't mean that it is entirely equitable. I'm aware that I could have spent a lot more money to do a lot more rounds of edits and beta reads, structure my query letter to that magic formula, and get edits on that. And maybe, eventually, my submission would have been equitable in the slush pile. But again, that is me spending a lot of money using one of my privileges, disposable income, to overcome that barrier. Meanwhile, agents have been saying more and more that they do want to work with neurodivergent authors and they want to sell neurodivergent stories. It's easy to put that on your manuscript wish list. It's a lot harder to actually know what that means. If you have any disability, you get very used to people telling you to just overcome it because they want you to get there. They want that inspirational story. Just push through it. Just keep going. Don't let it define you. Don't let it bring you down. It is a disability. It is going to make things harder. And I think that becomes more true the more severe the disability is, including the higher levels of autism.